Welcome back to Marketing 100. I'm joined here today by Ian, not Kale this time either, because we're going to talk about video today, how to level up your video game, because video today is so important. Today, with the algorithms out there, they're really favoring video content, right? If you want to get reach on your social accounts, it's really video that these algorithms are favoring. It's important that you kind of have some of those basics, I think, in terms of what makes a good video and how can you create good video. The other part of this is also like video is something that really creates trust with people. So if you want to give a potential new client a glimpse into your business, talk about the services that you offer, especially also if you're having a business that is not just doing like visual transformations like a hair business or nail business, because then photography can work, right? Video will always work. But if you're like a massage therapist, you might want to like educate and explain, and like video is a great format for doing that as well, and it's a great way to just build trust and to, get your business out there. So what would you say, Ian, for someone who's like new to video, what should they be thinking about in order to kind of, in an easy way, level up the quality of the video that they're creating?
I'm not going to bore people with, exposure triangles or, different styles of lighting or anything like that. But my biggest two tips are honestly the same top tips that I have for photography. And that is make sure that you have good lighting. Yeah, all right. And, lighting. We talked about in the photo one, but, you can use a ring light or a window. A ring light's very cheap, and a window is already part of the building that you're in. Number two is framing. You want to make sure that, the same examples, we're on video here. We want to make sure we don't have too much space above us, too much space that's unfilled. You want to fill your frame with the person or thing that you're trying to capture, right? And that way, you're drawing your audience's eye to exactly what you want them to look at. And also, another big thing is tidy up the background. I didn't mention this in the photo. If you have a crumpled up piece of paper behind you, it's over your shoulder, especially if you're talking and you're moving and you can't quite see it unless you move to the side just a little bit. People are going to stare at that crumpled up piece of paper and they're not going to look at you at all, right? It's very distracting. But then we start to get into differences, and that is motion, right? Video moves and photos don't. I know that's, obviously, right? When you are moving, when you're talking, when you're expressing, people are seeing you in real time, all right? And that can kind of freak some people out, okay? I've been filming professionally since 2011, and one of the biggest things that I do behind the camera is coach people, right? Yeah. I get them to be their best self on camera. And when you're doing it yourself, that can be a little bit daunting, right? You have experience doing that too, though, right, John?
There's a lot of videos of me, in particular, on this channel, yeah.
So, like, when you first started recording yourself, I'm guessing you started with, like a camera phone. I think that's the best place to start. It's in your pocket already. It has good quality these days. It's really hard to get a bad camera phone, and pretty good quality audio, which is a huge thing that I do want to touch on. But I'm kind of curious, like, you had to be nervous. Like, were you stammering the first few times that you filmed? Like, how bad was it?
And it was really bad, honestly.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, if you're watching this, you probably have seen more videos with me on this channel. And if you go back in history, I'm kind of like blushing when I see those because it's like so bad. Yeah. But I think, all of us start there, right? Yeah. And personally, I'm kind of like more like an introverted person than like, someone who's just like, loves to like be seen or like be out there, right? Starting this journey was super tough, honestly. And I really had to work on that and really just like get over myself and stop thinking so much about like my performance, but really more about like the message that you're putting out there. Because something happens, I think, when you just like switch on that camera and you're like looking at that lens that is just like, it just makes you freeze. I don't know what it is, but it's like there is something with that. Focusing on your message would be like, from my experience, like how to get over it. The second one is also just to don't think about like all the people you're talking to, because that's also going to freak you out, especially if you're like recording an ad for your salon business that you want to, get a lot of people to see, potentially like thousands of people to see, right? Think about like that one person that you're trying to reach with this video. So if you're doing a presentation of your salon or spa business, I would like think about your like ideal client. Like think about that person that you really enjoy meeting, that is like you want more of that client. Think about him or her and like picture her in front of you behind that camera. Some even like put a picture on the camera, I've heard, like to overcome that and to like remind themselves. I don't, but like just thinking about that person and thinking that you're talking to that person versus a big audience, not only does it make it a little bit like easier on yourself to like just get over and start talking, but it also makes your message, I would say, like more focused and more relevant for the person that you're talking to when you're like focusing on one person versus a big audience. So yeah, anyway, that would be some of my tips of just like getting over like that nervousness and like that pain in a way.
Honestly,
to record video.
That's the biggest hurdle, all right? And that's a journey everyone has to go on. It's something that it's a wall you're going to run into, all right? You just have to keep doing it. Like anything, it's a skill, and you only build that skill by doing it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you were able to talk to that. You know, you have a very, similar experience to a lot of the viewers here. Getting back into sort of practical tips from a shooting perspective, for photos, you can take a lot of photos just handheld, right? You can always get like a little tripod or something, but for video, you really want stability, right? So I would recommend having some type of support system for your camera phone, or if you have the budget and interest and know-how for your DSLR or mirrorless camera, just to make sure that it's steady. Shaky video is not the greatest, right? That's why there's a whole industry of camera stabilization stuff. But the quickest, easiest, cheapest thing is to have a tripod, a monopod, a GorillaPod, something you can just slap the phone on and get some good, stable, quality video with.
So I actually brought like what I used when I started this channel that you're watching this on, just to kind of show how I started. And it's basically this. Looks like that. It's like it's called a GorillaPod, I think they call it.
That's
you can
a
kind of
GorillaPod.
like clamp. You can just like move this around. You can kind of put it on wherever you need to put it. And then I just have this thing where you can. Can you hold that for me?
Yeah, I got you.
So then it's just like this thing that you can just mount your phone to. It allows you to like move it around as well if you want to shoot vertical.
Cute kids, John.
Yeah. And then I just like have this like super basic mic that you just plug in, but it makes a huge difference compared to just using the built-in phone mic. If you just spend a few dollars, I think this is like, honestly, 50 quid.
Yeah, $20-$30 for a good mic.
20,
is
yeah,
great.
it's like something like that. And that's it really. Like that's all you need. Honestly, in my opinion, if you're just gonna like create content for social, you don't really need more than that, I would say.
Yeah, and I think that's my last tip for video is the highest quality video, image-wise, is going to, excuse my language, but it's going to look like shit if it sounds like shit, okay? So invest in some type of microphone. There are plenty plug-and-play microphones that are maybe lav mics that you can put on yourself or clip onto your shirt, your collar, or something like that. Or a lot of people, and I've used this a ton, are using shotgun microphones. That's the style of microphone that was on top of John's phone that we just saw. That's a shotgun mic. They can range in price, but there are phone and small camera specific shotgun microphones that you're going to be pretty close. They're going to be high quality, and if you're going to invest the time and the effort to frame and light and have a good performance and really put yourself through the ringer, if your video doesn't sound good, doesn't matter how good it looks, it's gonna look like shit if it sounds like shit.
Yeah, and we're really putting that to the test right now because we're outside the Mango Mint event and people are just like flooding in here next to us right now. Really putting that to the test, whether those mics are like picking us up or if you're just hearing like the audience around.
I'm confident it's gonna sound good.
Yeah, good. I trust you on that.
Well, hey, we are at Mango Meet right now. An event's about to get started, and I need to get back to work to capture this thing. Okay.
Yeah, and I need to get into the event and have some fun.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching today, and we look forward to seeing you here on an upcoming video in the Marketing 100 series, where Kale, I, and also Ian now are going after 100 marketing ideas to help you level up your salon and spa business. We look forward to seeing you inside of an upcoming video.
Cheers. Okay.